my experience with Persona 5 Strikers. Alright, let's talk about this game, shall we? Because we have a lot to discuss here today. Finally, this video. I gotta see if I'm live. I know YouTube likes to mistake me for not being live. So, Persona 5 Strikers. Man, this game and I go way back. I can't remember like the year it released for some reason, because I'm bad at remembering things all of a sudden, but I want to talk about Persona 5 Strikers and when it first came out. Because I feel like when Persona 5 first came out, like Persona 5 Strikers, I honest to God thought, it was like one of the coolest things to come out. Like, for example, right? Like, I can't remember, I think it was maybe 2017, 2018 maybe, when Persona 5 Strikers came out, and I remember, like, Dave, like, day one, since he was, like, Dave, my boy Dave, y'all remember Dave, he's been in my videos before, Dave was, like, lighting it up, like, saying, this is the coolest sequel ever, because he was a big Persona 5 fan, like, a few years ago, I'm not sure if he's as big now, but I think he still loves Persona, right? But I remember Dave was like, day one got Persona 5 Strikers. Like, I think it was like the Ultimate Edition of it or something. Like, this was like the first Persona 5 like sequel other than like Ellie the goatee. Yo, welcome to the stream, my man. Welcome to the stream. But I can't remember the version Dave got, but he got like the game, but also with like a statue or something or whatever. Or maybe I'm mistaking it for regular Persona. I don't know. Look, it's been a fat minute since, I've ever heard Dave talk about it. But I remember, like, Dave got Persona 5 Strikers. And I remember, I think for a while, I was watching Dave. I was watching Dave, like, play the game through, like, PS Plus for, like, a long while. And, or not PS Plus, I was watching him through SharePlay, like, on PlayStation 5 and stuff for, like, a long-ass time, bro. And I remember I was, like, really enjoying the game with him, and I thought it was kind of cool. But, like, one thing that I remember that really threw me off about Persona 5 Strikers, right? And I think that this threw Dave off when he first saw the trailers and stuff. And, after he got it. Naruto, like the shirt, buddy. Hey, thanks, appreciate it. I remember, like, Persona 5 Strikers wasn't, like, a role-playing game. It wasn't a turn-based RPG, almost open-world, like, game, like Persona 5 was, like the original Persona 5. What are you talking about, Alan? I am talking about Persona 5 Strikers. That is what I'm talking about today. And I remember no sequel I have ever seen, alright, does something that drastic. Last time I've seen something go from role-play game to, beat 'em up game was like fucking Mario back in the day, okay? Mario and a lot of other franchises doing that back in the day. Like, for example, like Mario games, and it's actually like the sequel to like the original game. It isn't like no side quest. It isn't no side thing like Persona 5 dancing, okay? It isn't like that, but it's like, it's canon. It's like the official material. I've never seen like a game do that before, right? Where they're just like, okay, we're gonna make a sequel, but it's in a completely different genre. Who does that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm being so honest in saying this. Who does that? Who does that? I can't name a franchise who's done that. At least at the top of my head at the moment, who's done that. Like, made a sequel that is completely different from the original genre the game's originally for. Like, you know what I mean? But anyways, other than that, I remember that, like, being so cool about Persona 5 Strikers, like, it being completely different from its original counterpart. And honestly, because, I played beat-em-up games, I loved Pirate Warriors 3, I loved Pirate Warriors 4, I love those games. I loved beat-em-up games. And I was like, oh shit, Persona 5 Strikers, a beat-em-up game. Awesome, badass, cool. And I was like, yo, maybe I should check it out sometime. Maybe I should give it a play. After watching it kind of got me interested. And, I also was interested because I love the Persona 5 cast. I love Makoto. I love An. I love Morgana. I love Ryuji. I love Yusuke. Dude, I love them all right? I love them all. I love the whole cast. When I played Persona 5, Royal with Dave, like 3-4 years ago. I love the game so much that I just wanted to make like another video. And that's another reason why I wanted to play this game, right? I was like, yo, I want to play this game because, I want to like not only spark up some nostalgia, but like, with these cast of characters, since I haven't seen them in so long, or at least in a year or maybe 2 years or so, or whatever. But you get my point. I wanted to play the damn game. After a long while, I think Dave was talking to us saying how he kind of dropped the game because, like it wasn't like the same as what's the right word? It wasn't the same as the original Persona 5. Alan, what is the best Wii game? Honestly, I can't tell you what the best Wii game is, after you play like a lot of your favorites, because everybody's opinion on the best Wii game is going to be different. Like, I could say Super Mario Galaxy is the best, but you're going to think Wii Sports is the best. Know what I mean? But Super Mario Galaxy is one of the best games. One of the best games on the Wii, hands down. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Just name one. It doesn't have to be the best. Super Mario Galaxy, that's one of the best Wii games right there. And then if you want another sequel to that, Galaxy 2. Easily some of the best platformers on the Wii. Easily. But anyways, back to what I was saying about Strikers. I remember it took a long time before I was actually able to play it, because I remember I played it back then when it was still fresh. It was like a few months, maybe a year or so old or something like that. And I remember I played it for a little bit, and I remembered exactly how Dave felt. Because keep in mind, right? I remember I got into the game, I played it, and then dropped it quickly after. Because in my mind, playing Persona when you're used to Persona 5 being something else is a really cool idea, but it's hard for people to, I feel like, in my opinion, and this might just be my opinion, but I feel like it's hard for a lot of people to just transition to another genre, like, immediately like that, with the cast of characters in hand, right? I feel like when you play a video game and you only play a specific genre and you try a different game in a different genre, it's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel not so much the same. It's gonna be, like that experience, right? And I remember, I think I eventually, like way later in my life, I eventually like came back to the game because I was like, because my original reasons for playing it was, I want a new Persona 5 experience. I want to make a video on it someday. And why not make a review talking about it, or just, my experience going through the game and stuff. And, for a long while, I was enjoying the game. When I came back and started streaming the game way later, I started to enjoy it. I picked it back up because I was like, you know what? I want to get farther than before, or further than what I did last time. And you guys know me with 100+ hour games. I lose interest almost immediately. I like games that are like about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or whatever, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, flat. Because I feel like I can do it, in a reasonable time, or it takes me quadruple the time, those games' length actually is for me to do it sometimes, you know what I mean? So, excuse me, when I got back into the game and started streaming it, I made it further and further into the story. But a part of me, I felt like the more I kept playing Persona 5 Strikers, the more, like, I kind of wanted to drift away from it. And I say that because there's not only so much fucking dialogue in this game, there is a lot. This is probably the most dialogue-heavy beat-em-up game I've ever played in my fucking life. Alright? Probably one of the most. I'm probably forgetting an experience or two, but you get my point, right? Like, it's so talky, and I get it. Persona 5 is very talky, of course, because it's originally a role-playing game, so you're going to be reading like fucking no tomorrow, of course, but for me, since I haven't been in the game with Persona in so fucking long, and it's kind of weird how I enjoy Persona most. I enjoy Persona most when, like, somebody is there with me to enjoy the experience with me. You know what I mean? Like, for example, they're on their journey playing the game. And this is because this is how I originally got into Persona, so it just makes sense, right? I think I enjoy Persona most, and I figured this out when I started streaming it, or after my streams, and a little bit just now, kind of. I think I enjoy Persona just in general when I'm with somebody else. Like, for example, when I was with Dave playing Persona 5, he amplified the experience of, us playing Persona 5 all those years ago, and I had no idea that it was him that kind of kept the experience interesting, you know what I mean? Because there were so many sections I probably could never have done. There's probably so many bits in the game that I would be bored with, and to be honest with you, when I was playing Strikers, going around and beating up shadows, I almost said nobodies because I'm so used to Kingdom Hearts and other games that, called Shadows Darkness or some other thing, right? But I'm so used to playing Persona with somebody else, or at least watching them play the game, that most of my enjoyment comes from watching them play instead of actually playing it for myself. Because it gives me time to, instead playing the game and also investing in the characters, it only gives me the idea that, okay, I can invest in character story, focus on that, instead of, playing the actual fucking game. And also, I ain't gonna lie to you, going back and forth in these big open fucking jails that they got going on, right, is, I don't know, to me, I feel like it's way too much fucking running around. And then beating up bad guys in between here or there, whenever you're going around the world and figuring out the story of each and every single jail. I'm not gonna lie, it held my interest for a while, but like I said, a part of me was kind of drifting the more and more I played, the more I came back, the more I felt like I wanted to play this shit. And, I kind of realized, this game is gonna be not 100 hours, but it's gonna be like 15, 20 hours. And a part of me was like, I don't know if I want to really play this. You know what I mean? Because I'm sitting there like, hey, I love Persona. I'm grateful that I experienced Persona 5 Strikers at all. Mainly thank you to Chris for downloading it on PS Plus. Also me as well for PS Plus at the time. Or mainly Chris for PS Plus because I downloaded it from his side. So thanks, Renee for giving me another opportunity to play the game. But, yeah, that's honestly how I felt about why I say it's a short experience. Because I remember I got through maybe 2, 3, 4 jails before just finally putting the game down, because I realized, man, I am not into this as much as I thought I would be, getting back into it. Because getting back into it, I was fucking in it. I was obsessed. I wanted to play more. But, like, again, the more I started playing and the more, complicated some of the jails are, the people's motives behind the jails were, and all this other sort of stuff, I think it either quickly led me to burnout, or it led me to just not wanting to play the game anymore. Because for me, I need like a simpler fucking thing going on, man. And obviously you guys know that that's why I play a lot of NES games, a lot of Wii games, a lot of N64, because I feel like they're simpler for me to get into, they're simpler for me to understand, they're simply for me to grasp. I'm not trying to say like Persona 5 Strikers is like the hardest thing for me to get into. It's just that, I don't know, when you fall out of the game as quick as I do, you tend to like not love it anymore. And keep this in mind, I'm a gamer that is full of passion. So whenever I play your game, I'm passionate for it. I have a love for it. I have a knack for it, for whatever game I decide to review, whatever game I decide to talk about, whatever game I just want to show you guys. I'm very passionate about the game. So it just goes to show that, whenever I'm passionate about something, that's why I do it. Passion drives me to do a lot of these things, and seeing that Persona 5's passion was so high just for it to get so low because, of all the things, like the annoying back and forth sometimes between characters where I'm like, oh my god, so much dialogue, skip, the going around those 3D jail environments and murking shadows, leveling up your characters, leveling up your traits of your characters. I don't know, a part of me was like, eh. And I think this was also into the era where I kind of started falling off beat-em-up games in general, like 3D beat-em-up games anyway. Like Pirate Warriors 3, Pirate Warriors 4. I remember Pirate Warriors 4, I love that game, but and you guys remember my Pirate Warriors 4 review, and Pirate Warriors 3 review, I talked about how I was falling off that game. I did not care for it immediately. I did care for it immediately, of course, for Pirate Warriors 4, but, like, you get what I mean. like, I was starting to fall off, you know, and I feel like Persona 5 Strikers, you know, after a while, I kind of fell off that game for basically the same reason. I just don't care anymore, you know, my passion isn't big for it anymore or whatever, but I won't say Persona 5 Strikers is a bad game, you know. It has a good story, it has good characters, phenomenal music, it's gonna make you feel like you're playing the original Persona 5 Royal or just Persona 5 in general all over again. It's a great game in those aspects, you know, and then including the gameplay too, that's great as well, but it's just realizing it just isn't for me and kind of dropping it in a good place, in my opinion, and just, you know, having good memories with when I was enjoying it is good enough for me. And that's my short experience with Persona 5 Strikers. It's not a bad game. I'm not going to say it's shitty or shit or anything, and I don't have that much of a problem with it, but, like, too much fucking dialogue. The gameplay can get very repetitive at times, especially if you're playing it for long sessions. Going back and forth in jails, in and out of jails, and all that other sort of shit. And sometimes being forced to do shit you don't want to do sometimes still bothers me to this day, and it's in Strikers, and I don't like that shit, and I think that's what slowly as well was kind of dragging me away from the game. But anyways, let me know what your guys' thoughts were on Persona 5 Strikers. If you guys enjoyed it way more than I did, good shit. I'm glad you enjoyed something that I, you know, found after a while to be boring. And God bless you all. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. I love you guys. You guys are the best in my life. I'm sorry for the leaf blower outside. Thank you guys again for 4,000 subscribers. You guys are the G's. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Also, uploading shorts today. I forgot to do that the other day. Well, I'm going to be uploading more today. So check that out when we get some time. Anyways, toodles.